hello, good people. Hello. I am here today for a very edgy conversation. We are going to talk about sex, relationships, communication, love, marriage, and a whole bunch of other stuff. I did not know I would be having this conversation today. However, the universe, my DM, a lot of current events and conversations that I've been having lately has led me to just go ahead and at least have part one of this conversation. So let's get right into it. What does a healthy relationship look like? A healthy relationship obviously should start off with a healthy, honest friendship. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes sex happens first. We're grown. Let's talk about it. It happens first. And sometimes the friendship never get built because the sex was so good. Some of us are married or have been married, and we have made mistakes in our marriages, our previous marriages. That would be me. I'm divorced. And they have taught us how to behave and how not to behave. If I could just sum up some of the lessons that I've learned of the mistakes that I made in my previous relationships, it was not being a man's piece, running my mouth too much, embarrassing him in front of his friends and family, getting slick out the mouth, not considering what may have went on in his day. And I only thought about my needs, what I wanted, worrying about how my marriage looked to my friends and my family instead of worrying about what my marriage should have been building inside of the marriage instead of outside of the marriage or the relationship, because I failed in relationships too. I want to be honest and have edgy conversations about where I went wrong, where we go wrong. And it's not, of course, biblically, no, we're not supposed to jump into bed with nobody, the first time around. But a lot of times, whether it's we start off in the bed or we start off as friends or we start out healthily dating, we make problems throughout. And so those are some of the things I really think is necessary to talk about, because the first thing we have to understand is how we are built as women and men, right? Like, women are receptors. We were built for receiving, okay? Men are projectors, and they were built for giving out. And yes, I'm speaking about below the belt at this point, but it comes back to the natural and the mind. It all comes full circle. So in that, when you lay with a person, you are spiritually marrying them. If they are bitter, a complainer, argumentative, they have no peace, they're full of confusion, you are laying with that and receiving that unto you. And then that spirit gets connected to you, and you wonder why everything in your life is going chaotic. It's because that one night stand that you've had, or that person that you've been dealing with or sleeping with or laying with, they've stepped out and they've picked up another spirit. Now those spirits are connecting to you. So we have got to be very careful about who we lay down with, because it is so important, it is so imperative, and it affects our total being. Another thing, ladies, you're not going to like this, but we have got to be, when we're ready to get married, we don't want to talk about submitting, but when you walk down the aisle, you are a bride and a groom. When you think about something being groomed, think about a dog being groomed or your hair being groomed. They are cutting away what's not good so that things can look and be beautiful. So you have to be ready to allow that man to groom you. If he's not a groomer, then maybe he should not be your groom. I'm not trying to cut down anybody's relationship, but I'm just telling you what this thing is supposed to look like. Then we have this concept of what you did to get a man or what you did to get a woman, you got to do to keep them. That's kind of a twofold concept, and this is why I say that. So, if I was broke and living in the projects when you met me 10 years ago, and I fixed hot dogs and pork and beans, and we've both excelled in life, am I not supposed to take you out? Even as a woman, yes, we can take our man or our husband out. Am I not supposed to take you out on dates to find restaurants? When we go into that concept of what we did to get them is what we got to do to keep them, we have to remember the mindset both parties were in at the time. So you could have been in a survival mindset. Hey, we both living in the ghetto. We both living in the hood. We trying to get out. But 10 years later, you're doing some other things. You're owning property. You're building a financial portfolio. Are you still supposed to have that kind of mindset? Or is your hustle mindset supposed to look different, where you're both going to classes learning about investing and how to build your empire the proper way so that you can leave a legacy to your children? So you can look at that concept the same with addicts, right? Like addicts get together, some of them stay together, some of them are married, and then there's this thing, well, what I did to get them is what I got to do to keep them. Well, you might have tricked to get them. You might have gave them, you might have had all the crack to get them or her. So you got to keep giving to keep this person. We got to start looking at this stuff on both sides. Like my daughter and I were talking today, and I'm not going to take the credit. We kick it sometime, and she gave a word. She said, some people get married, but they're not a wife. That was a word right there. And then she went on to talk about some people have children, but they're not a mother. Some people have children, but they're not a father. And some people live in a house, but they don't know how to keep a home. So that I added that part. So it's like, just because you are a thing doesn't mean. Some people are in a management position, but it doesn't make them a leader. You understand what I'm saying? So let me back up to that. You're married, but are you a wife? My Gavata-ism, my name is Gavata. Do you cook? Do you clean? Do you lay down when your man wants you to lay down? Do he have to come in the house all the time and put in back work? Or do you know how to please your man without laying on your back? Are you willing to do it without him asking? Do you appreciate and honor him in a way that you can sit and do nice things for him and honor him? Vice versa to the fellas. Like, do you let her know, hey, you know what, you really, fill in the gaps when, I can't do for my kids, or I am busy working, or, I'm working 14 to 16-hour days and you hold down the fort at home. Or, babe, when I was out of work, you held things down. Are you doing that appreciation thing on both sides? Like, ladies, I can only talk because I'm a female, right? Like, are we sitting and like just treating our man like a king instead of texting him, good morning, king? Like, are you honoring who he is? Like, is your words exalting to him? Are you sitting built? Has he told you something that he desires to do, and it's been laying dormant for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year, because you have not birthed it? Because we were created for receiving what a man gives and pushing it out. We were created to nurture that thing. So the administrator that you are you assisting your man in birth. I don't care if it's a business plan. I don't care if it's researching an apartment building he want to buy. I don't care if it's staying on top of his credit and helping him with that. I'm not talking about controlling his money. That is not what I'm talking about. Are you looking for a servant or a husband, someone to care for you, somebody to love you, somebody to build you up, somebody not to take all of your broken pieces and be your rescuer on a white horse? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, let me go back to Bible, thumping Gavata, the Proverbs 31 woman. Are you building your house? Are you uplifting this man? Are you caring for him? Are you a caring individual? Again, back to my podcast from yesterday. If you are only nagging and complaining and he can't never do nothing right and everything is wrong and the car ain't full with gas and he didn't go to your mama's when you say go to your mama's and he ain't pick up this person when you said pick, are you looking for a servant? Or are you looking for a husband? Are you looking for a companion and a friend and somebody you can joke with and laugh with and play with? Because every man I know, 35 and up, only want peace. They just like, I just want peace. Whether his peace is his video game, his dog, sitting in the car, his music, his remote control. Sometimes he just wants you to shut up and him to have his peace. Yeah, I am pro-male because I guess nowadays I see so many black men stepping up, being fathers. Kudos to the fathers. And I did not have that when I was raising my children. So now that I see black men standing up, being fathers, and then you talk to them and you hear their brokenness, and a lot of their brokenness is behind them not even being able to have a conversation with their baby mother or their girl or their wife, and there's some kind of manipulation and she's manipulating for money because she wants eyelashes and more hair weave, and this man just wants peace. Now, I'm only talking to the brothers who are doing their jobs and holding down the folk for their baby mothers and for their children. I'm speaking about that. I'm speaking about communication. Like, can your man tell you that he don't like something you have on? A hairdo you may have. He might just let him express himself, or something you've said that may have affected him, because again, you don't know what may have affected him as a child, and you just said something about it and it triggered him. Are you able to accept that kind of stuff from your man and literally receive it and make things better? See, this thing is about being in a relationship. It's about growing. It's about growing together. It's not about staying stagnated. If you and your man got bad credit, and you and your man don't own a car, or ain't nobody trying to own a house, and ain't nobody trying to save no money, and ain't nobody trying to get better credit, and ain't nobody trying to bring peace. Like, there needs to be individual counseling before there can be marital counseling. And I didn't stay on the sex thing because, for the most part, a lot of people, we know how to do that. That's easy for us. Sex is easy. It's not, me personally, if you don't get to my mind, nothing else works, So if I don't honor that you love God, and I don't honor the man that you are to your mother, and the respect you have for your baby mothers, and the king that you are to your men's and your boys, and how they look up to you, and if you don't have those things, nothing else really, I don't care how fine you are, how much money you have. None of that even matters, because I have to stay, those are the preliminaries. And then what's your credit score? So it just shows like your priorities and how you're getting things in order. So I just wanted to come on and speak about, like, ladies, we got to stop clinking the box down and expecting our man not to go out and cheat. We got to stop not making our house peace and wondering why he don't want to stay home with us. Shut your mouth, cook the food, have them clothes clean, have your house clean, kick your feet up, like, you chill. You chill. Find something to do. Like I just wanted to get on here and say that like, share, subscribe. My YouTube is Gavata Smith. My Instagram is Mom for Christ. This video will be posted on every platform. You all have a wonderful day, and I hope somebody gets their self together by watching this podcast. Y'all have a blessed day.